I'm joined by Adam Camilleri,
My great pleasure to be here again.
Tanya Gates,
Hey, everybody.
and the man behind the curtain now in front of the curtain, Josh Diffie. Welcome everybody.
Oh
This is
yeah.
the fun part. This is the part where we actually get to hang out and talk about the winners from the raffle, folks that have done all the heavy lifting. Everybody from the charity foundation getting everything up on the stream, or everything up on the raffle, all the pictures, everything, people contributing. Again, then we just come and get to do the easy part, which is talking about the fun stuff. And I'm delighted to be here.
It is another bumper year for the NOCF. And once again, like you said, we get to be here to sit in the hot seat, tell you guys all about all the greatness, which you may have won. Hopefully did. Hopefully taken home something good. And if not, hopefully you'll come back next year and contribute where you can. But yeah, another phenomenal year for the charity. Another phenomenal bunch of charities getting a huge helping hand by our wonderful community.
And I feel like we have the easy job because all we really have to do is look at cool models and announce the winners. But the people behind the scenes of the NOCF are the ones who do all of the hard work. But I'm just excited to be here to help out in some small way.
If you're watching this after the fact and joining on the excitement, know that these are folks that either were called to a specific charity, like a cause, or wanted to support the artist, or wanted to support the the models themselves. I mean, there's all kind of different reasons that can get you here and doing this, and it's one of the things that it makes you warm and excited to see the community coming together for these types of things. But yeah, that's enough preamble. Let's actually jump into it. We're going to go through the models, I should say models. I guess they are models, but all the offerings and things that were up on the site where people could contribute to for raffle tickets. And just kind of go down the list and talk about the winners. First one up is going to be the Demon Lord of Horror. This one won by Hannah Shieldler here in the U.S. I know we're going to talk about some international folks as well, and we may even have another guest join us, a very special guest, if we can arrange that during the live stream. It's see how that goes. It's always exciting when you're doing live stuff.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
Keeps me on my toes.
Ben, I don't know if you're actually on the live stream yet, but welcome to the broadcast. We're actually going to be chatting with you through the course of this and some of the things that you've contributed to the charity this year.
Mm-hmm. Yes, hello everyone. I'm here from the south coast of the UK, and I contributed the Ultramarines army, so the very heavy Ultramarines army that's being raffled.
We're going to get there, and your accomplishments and everything too, and the stuff that's actually one of the reasons I think people were excited to get part of that get that army. I cannot wait to talk about that. We're going through the list of winners at the moment. The next one on the list happens to be an Ultramarine, painted by the Den of Imagination. Winner of this, talking about international, Jan Kaiser, all the way from Austria, won that.
Man,
that's a very impressive Germanic name, Kaiser.
This guy's got his pupils painted and everything.
Wow.
This is my first time getting properly involved, especially when I found out the particular charities that you support, one of which is MSF. So Medicine Sans Frontières or Doctors Without Borders, that was one which I wanted to do something for. And happily, that was one of the causes that you guys support. So it made lots of sense. There was a video that Roman Lapat put up, who I know has contributed to you guys a lot, and he was talking about a few of his videos recently have been about sort of state of mind and painting miniatures and that sort of thing. And one of his was about the model that he painted in response to the wildfires in Australia a few years ago now, and how he contributed to that. And he really wanted to do something, and this organization let him, and I thought that was such a great idea, and I realized, oh my god, I could do that. I contacted you guys, and it so happened I had an Ultramarines army, which was my lockdown project.
Yep.
All right. So someone who actually painted what they wanted to paint during the course of the lockdown.
Oh, I think a lot of people did a crazy performatively huge thing over lockdown, and mine was, I got an airbrush and I wanted to practice it, and I thought I'll try doing a whole army with it. I wanted tanks in there because I hadn't done tanks much before, and now it was in my cabinet and not doing much. And I thought, well, if I could give it to a good home and know that someone got a kick out of it and help contribute, that's a win-win.
I love that story to where, seeing something from Roman, who is incredibly talented and actually got to see his work over the last couple of years, got to speak with him as well, inspired you to come and do some additional stuff. And that's great.
And a real, very creative, even within this sort of creative thing, he creates a lot and does a lot of new and interesting things.
Like art.
So that's
art
why
beyond
that's
the miniature. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an artist, a miniature painter, but an artist, and I think I could appreciate that it can be art and it can have an emotional content to it. A couple of things that he's done and sort of the videos that he's done talking about why he made the choices he did. It has miniatures can be looked at as, this is me getting very pretentious, miniatures can be looked at as a medium like oils or sculpture or whatever.
That's
and
awesome.
You can do stuff with it you can do with other forms of art, and it has its limitations, but it also has things that other art can't really do, and certainly the skills that you develop doing it, you can apply those in an artistic way and get a story across or an emotion across. I mean, of course, the thing I contributed to this particular raffle wasn't a crazy emotional story-based art piece. It's a bunch of Space Marines. But what I learned from Roman is that you can do that with miniatures, and you can do something like that for myself, even with Space Marines, by contributing them to something like this.
Let's peek behind the curtain. Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna say let's peek behind the curtain and see if the video's close.
I always love when I look at a collection that somebody's donated, because I think it always tells a story. And the first thing I noticed when I looked at it was like Primaris, Predator Annihilator, just hanging out in the back corner there. It's like everything else is shiny and new, and then you got Old Man of the Sea in the background.
The reason I chose Ultramarines is because I wanted to do something with tanks, and I remembered that Ultramarines had Sergeant Cronus, who's a really weird character, who's only in there because he's like one of those legacy guys that they have to include because someone's going to have him and they don't want to say, no, you can't use your toy anymore. And just, you can stick him in a tank, but he doesn't go in any of the new tanks.
None of the new tanks.
I looked it up, and there's a busted thing you can do with him in the Scorpius, like Forge World thing. But I thought, no, I'm going to stick him in a Predator Annihilator as the Emperor intended. Load of las cannon on it.
100%. That was exactly what I was going to ask you. Is he just there because there's a special spicy boy that goes in that one exclusively?
Yeah.
And you just answered that question. I adore that. I adore that.
Ultramarines are all ultra generic except like a couple of things, and one of them is Sergeant. No one else gets him.
Hey, thank you very much, because that was literally what I extrapolated from the picture. I was like, I bet you
read an army.
When you said I wanted a tank army, like, well, you want the tank character, and so you bought the tank that the tank character goes in. Absolutely adore it. Sorry, mate. Also, thank you.
Ancient fine cast thing dredged up from the depths of their website.
Also, I'd like to say thank you very much for the Samael book. I'm a Dark Angels main. I did enjoy that read. Thank you.
Oh yes. Where was that published? Was that one of the advent calendar ones, or the very short ones they did?
I believe it's one of the very short ones.
Yeah, because it was paired with another story.
I don't know when it was released though. I'll look it up in the break.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's roll that video.
I've read Dark Angels.
We're good to go. We'll see you all in a minute, everybody.
I'm here today with Damien, and we have been sort of familiar with each other for, oh my gosh, almost like 3 years, I think, on social media. Yeah, but it's really good to actually get to speak to you in person. Why don't you just sort of take it away and explain to the viewers what it is exactly that you do, and we'll just start with that.
Well, in a sentence, I put art on stuff. Years and years ago, I started airbrushing, and down in Southern California, I moved down there as a kid for a while, and I learned to be able to say yes to anything people came up with, like trucker caps, cars, whatever it was. If I could say yes to putting art on it, I could get some money. and keep doing what I wanted to do, which was, because I could make more money doing something else back then, certainly. But I was really determined to airbrush. I loved the versatility of it. I'm a very, not just lazy artist, but very impatient, very greedy to have it done, And airbrush, we all know, is, especially like in mini painting, can really rush things, can really lay out a lot of work quickly.
Mhm. I actually had a look through your website, which is amazing. Everybody should go and check it out. But you don't just airbrush miniatures. Like, it seems like you airbrush literally anything. Is there any sort of limits to what you can airbrush art onto?
I've done a lot of people. Like I do the Portland Erotic Ball every year. I get to see a lot of crazy stuff there. Like it's ripped open and they got their heart inside or whatever. Let me see, on cars, what's the hardest thing? Nikes. Nikes can actually be kind of hard because Nike's done a good job of trying to keep their shoes clean. And it's kind of, so you've seen how people put artwork on Adidas and Nike and stuff like that. To give them some credit, I've had a hard time getting art to stick on things that are made like that.
Interesting. Well, that's a really good segue into what it is that you have provided for the Nova Open Charitable Foundation to raffle off this year. So tell them about this. Wow, you've actually given two things this year. Is that
Oh
correct?
yeah, well I started off with a D&D model. I was kind of like not sure. I was like, oh, Nova Charities. I like helping out charities. Great. Here's some things. And then I started seeing some of the stuff that other people had given, and I was like, oh, I got to up the level. This was some Bush League stuff. I got to get something good in there. And I forget. I know Dan Osborne was the one who introduced me to Nova and Nova Charities and everything. NOCF, I know is the correct term.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw the shoes, or I forget, I showed him the shoes or something like that. And they were like, yeah, do this. And I was like, really? This seems kind of, are you sure? But they were excited about it. And I had been talking about, a long time ago, I'd seen somebody painting a War Titan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, there's room to fit some art. Like I'd put it on the sides of rhinos or land raiders, what have you. But here's some like really big surfaces to lay something out. We've seen people like Adamov or whoever do things like that. And I even remember posting on one of his things saying, I'm going to do this someday. And he was like, oh, okay, great. And I was like, no, I mean it. And I saw that Dan was painting one and I was like, hey, put my name in it, if you'd ever be. And I was like halfway serious. I didn't realize I could actually get the opportunity. And he was like, yeah, we got it for you, man. If you want to do it, you can paint a Titan. So it escalated quickly from like this D&D bullet, this bullet. Is that how you pronounce that?
I have no idea. I'm not like a D&D expert. I've played like a
Oh,
few times.
Sure. Okay. I was like, you sure you've played a few times?
I played a few times. Yeah, I think I've
It's
been
one of
up
the
to like.
original creatures.
Okay.
It's one of the original creatures. It's so old, in fact, I'm pretty sure that range of plastic critters was actually stolen, like kind of copyrighted, stolen from these little plastic toys that used to exist, these little dinosaur things.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody claimed the copyright, so I think Gygax or whoever is safe
Mm-hmm.
on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I gave the bullet, and so yeah, it escalated quickly into the War Titan. I was like, yay! Oh my god! Wait, how do you do this? This is huge,
Mm-hmm. And what about these sneakers though? These like orc sneakers.
Those are Stan Smith Adidas. I got them. They're limited edition. I got them from Adidas for doing a job. Like I was saying before, I've been at certain things, at airbrush at events and stuff like that. Bar mitzvahs, wherever I can get the money. Actually, bar mitzvahs are a kick in the ass. They're a load of fun. But yeah, so I'm at this event where we're airbrushing shirts for soccer players from around the world who have been invited to hang out at the. Oh, they keep changing the name of our stadium, but it's where all the Timbers play soccer. And so when I got these, and I was like, well, these are really cool. I could put them up on auction or something like that? I don't know, on eBay or something. And actually, who gave me the original idea a long time ago was OG Paintworks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we love Craig.
He was like, dude, you got to put those in a charity or something, give back. I was like, hey, that's a really good idea. And then I put it on the back burner for a long time. I got a lot of swag sitting around. And so yeah, when we were talking about giving it to NOCF, I was like, oh, that's perfect. Yes, that's what I want to do. And so yeah, I had this idea of them making you go faster because you paint them red. You know, always loved that orc concept of
Yeah.
I think I can. And so yeah, I really had a ball painting those. It's where I discovered I could paint on shoes by using a different kind of paint, scuffing it, alcohol, yada yada. But yeah, I had a ball kick like painting those, and I didn't really feel like trying to auction them off or something like that myself.
How did you come up with this like orc motif? Did you just like hear that orcs paint it red, then it goes faster, and you
Oh,
just
I've been collecting orcs. That was my first collection. Orcs
okay?
was my first GW plastic crack addiction.
And did you paint them red?
I paint all my vehicles red. Yeah,
Nice.
I do. Yeah.
So back then, I don't know when exactly you started, but in earlier editions, if you painted them red, they got to go like an inch faster.
I think it's an inch. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that rule so much. And these shoes that you created are so orky. They are so perfect. The
Cool.
expression on the face is just absolutely love it.
Oh
I just
yeah, the
can't
idea
help
of like
but
blasting while you're like
y-
rocketing straight into kamikaze like glory. That's
yeah, it's just like looking at them put a smile on my face, and I hope that whoever gets them like enjoys them as much as I enjoy looking at them because they just give me so much joy. And everybody should go check those out because they are fantastic. Um, so
hopefully
what?
they'll get you an inch faster.
Yes, hopefully that they do make you run faster. Oh, I am curious though. So do you have to seal the shoes? Like, are they available for you to just like wear them while walking around, or do you have to like care for them in a particular way? Are they something that just sort of goes on
If
a
you want to hit them,
shelf?
yeah, no. I mean, hey, put them on the shelf. That's great. But if you want to hit them with some Scotch Guard or something like that for extra protection, that's great. They will stand up. Like if you're out in the rain and you're running around doing your thing or whatever, they should be fine. Just like anything, though, if you like take a set of keys to them, like a car, even, yeah, you could damage a paint. But yeah, I used a certain kind of, I'd scuff it first, use a certain kind of primer, and then use a certain kind of paint, and then go over it with a clear coat, and so it should be good. But I'll
That
admit
is
it's my first.
amazing. Um, so with all of that said, if people want to find more of your work or maybe hire you for a project or anything like that, how can they find more of you?
Well, I'm online, zariart.com. It's just my last name, Zari, and the word art. I was not imaginative about it. And I should have thought about it because it's like last in the phone book alphabetically. But oh, also I found out that it has people who are looking up saris, like in India and
Mhm.
Pakistan and stuff like that, will find me and go, well, that's kind of cool. Whatever. Moving on. I'm looking for a sari, and I didn't realize that was also an alternate spelling for it. But
I didn't
so anyway.
realize that either.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll meet some like a Hindu or something. Hey, it's nice to meet you.
Mhm.
So yeah, zariart.com, and then Zariart Stuff is my Instagram. And if you hit me up on there, I'm happy to. Actually, a lot of people, I've got a lot of Warhammer T-shirts work off of that I never even really was like trying to do. The community is awesome. The
Mhm.
community is just kick-ass.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy seeing whenever you have a new post come up or anything like that because especially the t-shirts obviously because I'm a Warhammer nerd myself. It's just mind-blowing to me what you can do with your airbrush. Um, but yeah.
Practice, practice, practice. There's always one kid at the bar mitzvahs or the parties, the birthday parties, whatever, who's like, "How do you do that? Like, they want to, do you make money at this?" And I can kind of see what they're like, where they're getting with this, and they're like, "What's the trick to this?" And I'm like, "Practice." And they're like, "Oh, okay." Like a little bit disappointed, like, "Oh yeah, I was afraid of that answer."
It's actually the answer for probably every single thing in life. Yeah. But thank you so
And to
much.
love it.
Yes. Thank you so much for supporting the Nova Open Charitable Foundation, and thank you so much for speaking to me today.
It was an absolute pleasure. It was really nice to meet you in person.
Finally, after all these years.
Yeah.
Yes, we had some technical difficulties. Look, sometimes the internet is hard, you know? That's why we all come together and do this and make it a little bit easier. And I'm happy we might as well go ahead and talk about some more winners because
Yeah.
I love talking about the models
Mhm.
and what's coming up next.
Mhm.
Uh, one of the things with the Nova Open Charitable Foundation is that the NOCF does not just have Warhammer stuff. They got some other things. Got some different type of role playing game miniatures. Got some spectacular pieces of art like we were just talking about a little bit before we went and cut to the video. Next one we're going to be talking about is the piece from Damien, which you saw an excerpt from that video. And if you're curious to where they can find more stuff, where can they find more examples of his art?
Where can they find more examples? All you have to do is type Zari Arts into Google, and there'll be a website. You can definitely follow him on Instagram because that's where I have found him. But yeah, you just type that in, and you'll see basically every single thing that he does. And I definitely recommend also checking out the website because it's not just miniatures, it's not just airbrushed shoes and T-shirts and stuff. There's all sorts of really cool stuff.
Can I say the winner?
No.
Joel Palmer, you are the winner, Joel Palmer. Welcome. Yeah, awesome. Congratulations. Next one we're going to be talking about is the Imperial Ogren bust, a display piece.
My favorite. I think of this year. This is if I was going to have a bust, this is my guy. It looks phenomenal.
What would you use it for? Just to hang out at your dining room table?
I'd probably have it as one of the first things you see when you walk in my house, like flanking my front door, or like just on the inside, obviously out of the rain. But I'd get like a little plinth, and you'd walk in, you'd have to like nod to the Ogren upon entry.
I feel like I could see you like telling him all about your day.
I would.
Yeah?
I'd like, yeah. I'd try and high five him, and I'd be like, "Ah, sorry, mate. Oh, yeah," and then be a bit of showbiz. Yeah, be fun.
You could have him over the door of your study, like the bust of Pallas in the Raven.
Yeah. Quoth the Raven.
It's a banger as well. Look at the personality on that chap.
Absolutely, he's got a lot to say. You can tell.
Tino Walter, the winner of that impressive piece.
Congratulations.
And this is one artist. Sorry, this is one of my favorite things about the NOCF is the things that aren't like you said aren't Warhammer related directly, Warhammer adjacent, and then the creativity therein. But sorry, continue, mate.
Oh no! So you can find more examples from the artist from on Instagram as saint.toad.
And we've got the Wanderer.
Ooh. The Wanderer. Okay, this is a diorama piece from Den of Imagination. You can start to see kind of like styles from the artist if you're not familiar with them. It's absolutely some amazing stuff. As you talked about, just consistently putting out good stuff year after year after year. Worth following them, any of the artists on Facebook, Instagram, basically wherever you consume pictures and stuff. You know, what's better than having some cool inspiration to take home to your own hobby desk, and also showing a little support for these artists in their other ventures.
That's gorgeous terrain. Really good terrain, looks amazing, and is a completely different skill set as I've learned.
Totally
a name we've heard before, the winner, Hannah Schildler. Congratulations.
Nice.
Obviously diversifying their raffle tickets into a couple of different categories here and options. How cool is that? It's basically somebody wins these things. Sometimes somebody wins multiple things. How they got there, they participated and threw a couple bucks at the tickets. Could be one ticket, could be 20 tickets. They at least bought two.
Minimum. Yeah. Exactly two.
I bought exactly two this year, so I don't think I ended up as a winner.
You might be on the list.
But maybe. Maybe.
Might
we'll
be on
see.
the list. Next piece up is the Slaughter Priest. You can actually check them up on Instagram on the artist Johan Chestnut Ink. Chestnut Ink, obviously a nod to the famous ink from many years ago that was classified almost as like one of those talent in a bottle products well before that was a real thing.
I remember
but-
it was Chestnut. Before there was Agrax Earthshade, there was Devil and Mud, and before there was Devil and Mud, there was Chestnut Ink.
Chestnut Ink.
That
That's
it changed my life, and that's not an exaggeration.
I do not think that at all. I actually know the winner of this piece, Aiden Tajada. Cool dude. Congratulations. Slaughter Priest is awesome. Next up piece, we got a large 75 millimeter piece, epic. When we get to get good at painting at the 28 millimeter scale. What is it like painting at larger models where some of the details are less forgiving? Is what I would imagine anyway.
Well, the good thing is that the smaller details aren't as intimidating and fiddly, because when you're used to 28 millimeter, you're used to things being very, very small. The flip side is that the larger flat areas are something you're not used to doing. So getting those to look really smooth and not sort of brush marky and messy is very, very tricky. The lighting's different as well. The smaller scale you get, the more you exaggerate lighting. So the bigger a model is, the bigger scale a model is, you have to know how to rein it back. And just the idea of just a huge flat expanse is quite intimidating. And while it's the same sort of skill set, you do have to mix up the approach. I've done a bit of larger scale stuff, and it does feel very different.
Well, again, it's intimidating to me. Where do you even start? These artists have obviously figured it out. Winner of this is Timo Hiesen from Germany. Again, international. So folks doing this all over the world coming together, and I love seeing that. It's one of the things that, like, what these last several years have taught us. Many things, of course, but also that we're one community all around the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is heartening to see ways in which the world gets smaller, in that we're not all isolated from each other by endless, by half a world.
And if we could bond over, tiny plastic and metal and resin soldiers, then
oh yeah, these are the things that bring us together. Is toy soldiers. It's that sort of thing that that drives all of this.
That's the Polish Knight. You could check out more things from that artist as well. Definitely suggest doing that at Polychromy, Polychromy on Instagram. Next one up is the Orc Brute.
That's lovely.
Yeah, another display from Johann Chestnut Ink. That is, again, you start to see how the styles kind of develop over this. The course of seeing all their work. That's Andre Just, also from Germany, if I remember right.
There's a lot of there seems to be a lot more international winners this year.
That's good to see.
Really good, yeah.
I've always loved how everyone's got their own little take on the orc or the orc-esque aesthetic, like from Tolkien all the way through to. I actually don't know where this miniature is from, but it is its own take once again. Big fan.
Next one up is the Emperor's Children Space Marine. Obviously, some people might call this Warhammer 40,000 Chaos.
I thought it was a Soul Drinker we're talking about.
different shade of purple. The Emperor's Children literally have their own shade of purple.
They do. It's named after them. Fulgrim demanded it.
Yeah.
Painted by Yusuf Moshanali. Wonderful work here. You get looking at this. It's like, wow, these are things that, you know what? People are going to want that in their army.
It is very
I can imagine winning something like this and then saying, you know what, I've got to get the army now, and just going off on one. And being the guy who has the Emperor's Children army. That's how these things start.
Any reason, whatever it takes.
We don't need much of an excuse. That is true.
Chris McNeil from Louisiana. That's here in the United States. I'm actually the only one on the stream right now from the United States. So I feel like I have to
Yes, sir.
So that's for y'all's benefit, as well as anybody that may be watching later on. The next one we want to talk about is the Elite Guardsman.
Oh, this one's beautiful.
Oh, they're all beautiful. See, each one of these is like, you think about it, like we were just talking about, it's like, oh, if I had a whole army, it was just like this. Or if I had a color scheme, if I could match that color scheme, or this is inspiring me to want to create things around it, like a kill team or an
Yeah.
RPG campaign or whatever.
Mm.
You know, those.
I do hope the artist is a little tongue in cheek with this, because the oxymoron built in the title is phenomenal to me as a guard player.
It's one of the
Elite.
Elite Guardsman.
It's based
I'm
on.
here for it.
Well, I mean, in comparison, maybe it's based on one of the Elicidian Star Striders. I love those models.
Yeah.
And Roman is very good at presenting his models as well. And that's a really cool setting for him with the hazard stripes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were talking about Mr.
Trip. It's also a logical place for it to be. That's a trip hazard, so you would put them there.
We were talking about Mr. Lapat earlier, and this is an
Mm.
example of his work here, and just phenomenal stuff.
It's quite an expressive style. It's quite distinctive and quite unusual. That it's got a lot of sort of flair and expression to it. So it's not. You can get a bit sterile sometimes with the miniatures, and they have to be this specific way. And he's a lot more expansive. So one of the reasons I like watching his videos, as well as liking his models, it's really good to see an insight into how things get the way they're done, because it is his own way, and he is different.
That's another name you might recognize from earlier in the broadcast. Yain Kazar here, winning this one as well.
Well, congratulations. That's a gorgeous piece.
Make it rain tickets.
There you go. You mentioned the shoes earlier, Tanya, and this is the Adidas Orc shoes that are up next. One of a kind by Damien Zari.
These are just so spectacularly orky that as an orc player, when I saw these, I just stopped and went, wow. And I said, these are too big for me. Could I still make them work? Maybe.
Extra
Too
socks.
big is easy and too small. Just stuff them. Yeah. You need, if these are the kind of shoes where, were you to ever wear them, you would need entrance music.
You just have it loaded up on a Bluetooth speaker.
I'm a bit of a sneakerhead, and while I do believe anything that you get should be worn, no matter what the style is or whatever, but sometimes these would look good just in your display with your other stuff, if you are so inclined.
I think if you're at the top table in a tournament, then you'll rock up with these, and just for that little extra intimidation factor that you've got your rare sneaks on.
Yeah, you just put the feet.
Feel good.
You put your feet up on the table. It's the only. These are the only shoes. The only shoes you're allowed to wear with feet on the table.
I love it.
Winner of these, Alexandra Tran. Congratulations.
I hope they fit.
Alexander from Maryland.
There you go.
Very cool. If I just want to say, if Alexander is watching, if you wear them, can you take a picture and tag either me or another one of the people on the panel here so that I can see it, how you accessorize these, because I'm very interested.
Not just that, it would be great to see destination photos. So just go to these places, put the shoes on, and just get a photo of just your feet, next to the Eiffel Tower, or your feet next to.
They're in focus and the tower is out.
Get
real creative with it.
On the red carpet at the Met Gala or something, it's just focusing on your amazing orc shoes. That's the maximum possible flex.
But you gotta wear them if they're the right size. But again, would look good in display. Next one we got here is the Butcher of Ruin. One of those creature caster miniatures, I believe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Painted by Fabio Ricci.
Oh, God.
You can find them at Freckstar Minis.
Yeah.
The winner of this one is Bradley Gardner.
So if you were going to use this as a proxy for something, what would you use it for? Or would you use it in D&D as some sort of big bad evil guy?
It's very D&D-able as a flesh golem, or there are innumerable giant squidgy undead monsters. There's a bunch of demons. I can't remember what it's called. There's a bunch of demons where this would fit.
You can get away with the Great Unclean one in the Warhammer space.
Or a
not sure
noble
how-
demon prince.
how
I think
big-
I think the concept is like a proxy for a demon prince, but it's so flexible, especially for D&D.
And his mates would call him Bobby Two Mouths because he's got two mouths.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hallmark of some demonic creatures.
Don't get him mixed up with his mate Jimmy Three Cleavers.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Speaking of multiple things,
You beat me to it, Paul.
there you go. The next one is the Two Heads diorama. Yep. Olivier Raffle.
We didn't even plan that. That's hilarious.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes you just nail the segues. It's
That's it. Things just line up for you. The universe decides.
yeah.
With Adam's word per minute, you can guarantee you'll fluke a segue at some point.
At some point, it's gonna happen.
Miniatures like this again. He showcases the talent of the artist as well, and check them out. At them, well, we'll put the link in the chat for this one. It's a bit of a mouthful for that one, but the winner of this, Eric Johnson. Congratulations!
Congrats.
The effect of like seedy stage lighting,
Mm.
is really well done on this piece.
It's a real atmosphere one.
Yeah.
And it kind of has the look of just like a really run down sideshow with I don't know if it's a person and a little person or a person with two heads. It's left quite ambiguous what they came from, which I always like.
It does have a story though. That's kind of cool.
It
That's
does.
probably the coolest thing about
We're gonna make do with what we have, which is that we can play two instruments at once. So we're gonna make that the act.
But the guy on the head on the right really doesn't know which one of them has to sing the lyrics, and he's like, "Is he sing first, or do I have to?"
They don't know who's leading.
No
You
lead.
just know that behind the scenes they really don't get on.
No, there's not. There's a clear bully vibe going on.
It's like the Gallagher brothers back there.
Perfect.
Next up is Akia the Witch Elf. This is painted by Oscar Lars. Oscar, a friend of mine, fantastically talented painter. Got to recently hang out with him at Adepticon this year. He's playing in the Age of Sigmar Grand Tournament there with just a beautiful, glorious army. And that makes its way onto every miniature that he paints. And you can see this right here. How amazing is this?
And Oscar quite often helps out the charitable foundation. Am I correct in that?
He has had several pieces over the years. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Just fantastic painter. Anytime you can check out his stuff, he posts, work in progress stuff too, which, kind of just always you're like, wait, that's not done yet. Come on. But beautiful stuff. Seamus Dorr, winner of that one.
Congratulations.
Yep, Seamus from Virginia. So right there in the Charitable Foundation's backyard.
Take me
Try
home.
to pick it up. Yeah.
Take me home.
Next one, Geralt of Rivera.
Oh.
Some of y'all may recognize. Yeah, no, recognize that name.
Never heard of him. This is so well done. Whoever's done the skin texturing, especially with the
It's
stubble,
like a picture.
It's a picture. It's freaking amazing.
We talked about Mr. Roman with his beauty here. Look at that.
And that sort of thing with the stubble is so much more challenging to do at those bigger scales.
100%.
Without it just looking like the Homer Simpson muzzle. You really have to know what you're doing.
It's consistent across that whole thing. Look, I've read how to do this, right? read how one could do this. But yet here it is in all its glory. Brent Helt, congratulations, you are the winner of this stunning piece.
Congrats.
This next one sounds exciting. Lord of the Dead. It's a bust.
Big fan here as well. So this is
I thought it was a hit, but
well done. It's the subtle color here. It's really understated, really muted. The fact that you have a little bit of a touch of red in some underpieces, a little bit touch of some greens and some greys, I like it a lot. I think it's really well executed.
This, obviously got it, call back to all kind of lore, everything you might have heard about or felt or seen in a movie or whatever. But this is amazing. Yeah, like you nailed it right on the head there. It's like seems like it's this is 2 or 3 colors. Well, it's not, but it also executed just excellent. So you see every detail. I got lost in it for a second. I was like, wait a second, I was supposed to say something. I'm supposed to say Jeffrey Powell won this thing.
Congrats, Jeffrey.
Yeah, congrats. Jeffrey's from Canada. Again, I love it. All over
Hey, we probably know each other, right?
Yeah.
All the Canadian Warhammer players know each other.
It's just a small neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's just a very tiny country. I just want to say to the panel, prepare yourself for the next piece.
Because Paul will probably drool.
Paul is going to go off.
All right, Paul, you can just talk this one through. And I'll repeat the video as long as you need.
Be prepared. Actually, just be lost in it, but transfixed by this next model, which is a rule that they've had before, which is Mephiston, the Lord of Death of the Blood Angels, Chief Librarian of the Blood Angels. Look at this. Just behold the glory of it. We've seen this miniature a bunch. I painted this miniature.
Just once?
Not this well. No, well, depending on how many. I actually have painted several of the previous Mephistons. This is I've only painted one of these. But look at that. Look at the flowing cloak. All the capture of the movement. The model has a lot of movement in it, but it takes the artist to really pull it out of it. And this does not disappoint.
Have you painted Brother Calistarius, who was the librarian before he became Mephiston?
Out of Space Hulk. Yep.
For those who don't know, for those who don't know, Paul likes the Blood Angels just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
And Ben, you brought that up. That's how often a trivia question in like pub quizzes for Warhammer stuff is like, how many models have there been for Mephiston?
Yeah, and if you count it that way, it's 3. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, super technical. Brother Calistarius from Space Hulk is Mephiston before he fell in Armageddon.
Look at these nerds.
Eyes again.
I wear it as a badge of honor. It's what defines me.
As you should. As you should.
In good company here, and another person that's in good company, Brian Beck. You are the winner of this magnificent miniature. I hope you've got an army to put it into. Or you can use it as a proxy. Some kind of counts as for whatever army, as long as it gets on the table, or in a centerpiece. They're from California.
Play him as librarian Tigris. Tigris.
Tigris.
Next up is
my farce here.
3D. Yeah, it's a beefy farce here. 3D print set.
We don't have a video for this one.
Oh, we don't have a video for that. Well, I was just waiting for a second. Well, winner of that, Cameron Copeland.
Congrats.
Yep. Donated by Clay Williams, who is a contributor to the Nova Open Charitable Foundation for a long time. And great guy. Known him for a bunch of years here in the South in the Warhammer scene. Storm Boys Squad.
Yep.
All the orcs.
Booyah.
Beautifully painted. Really kind of one of the most dynamic kits G-Dub has ever done. And yeah, really doing it well. Really well executed.
Ripe with bits.
It also goes like to its benefit. This goes against everything I like about rimming bases on models. I normally keep it black, don't put color. It does my head in. But this, I think I've changed my mind.
It suits them.
It works
suits
really
them
well.
to the
fits
T.
the vibe.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's just the
Look at
small
that.
details that sometimes I pick up on that.
They used to have the background where orcs are really chaotic, But when they're very young, like the equivalent of teenagers, they're really sort of regimented and disciplined, and so they form the Storm Boys. And as they grow up, they get more and more like actual like human teenagers. So they had the gimmick was that they were the ones who actually turned up and like did parades and drills and things.
I've never heard that before. That is cool.
Yeah, this is old deep stuff where that was the old they were sort of the youths who got together in to sort of parade and polish their medals and stuff, and they it was the original Storm Boys. And now I do like the idea that the one of the orkiest things you can do is strap a jet engine to your back and charge in with your chainsaw in your hand.
I am positive that may butcher the name of the winner, but I apologize in advance. Yan Sajib, the winner of that, from California, San Carlos.
Another Californian.
This one should speak to Adam a bit here. Deathwing Terminator.
Just a good old lad doing his thing.
It's a great Chaos paint theme.
You watch your tone.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
we did it.
Like a moth to the flame, I will rise to the bait. Just, I mean, it's just a perfect demonstration of how to paint a Terminator. What more could be said?
Yep. Yeah, it's like it's a difficult color scheme to pull off, especially when you got that light color at the top and you want such deep shades. There's a lot of stuff that could be lost in there, but didn't have imagination, not disappointing.
Yeah, that's one of the things I find with I see a lot of Terminators on the table. People send me in their pictures of their Terminators. Really trying to get shading onto the bone without washing it out, while keeping its boneness and not letting it get tea stained or losing any of its luster. So really well done here.
It's really easy to just end up beige.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. Perfectly said.
The depth. Alex Healy, congratulations.
Beige is not a dynamic color.
Got a miniature. The first time I've seen it was when checking out the stuff here, which is another reason to go and check out the raffles as they come up. You see stuff maybe you've never seen before, maybe artists you haven't been exposed to. But we got an Inca Chihuahua Mage.
Yeah, I love this. I love this model.
It's one of those models. It's one of those models that like you look at it and you have to smile. You just if you just put it on your shelf or like at your desk if you work in a cubicle.
That's your character. That's your next druid. You know?
Oh yeah, that's absolutely an awesome D&D character. You're a druid who is either a Chihuahua person or turns into a Chihuahua every opportunity.
Yep. I do love that. Do you know when people talk about eyes and hands being the things that you see in a model the most? You could. This artist did not do this, but this miniature in particular, you could spend 99.9% of your time just on the ear folds and the eyes, and just phone in the rest, and this would look like a phenomenal miniature. This is really well executed. I love those eyes.
The colors. Like all the colors in this model, it's so difficult to get those bright and alive colors sometimes. I mean, as someone who paints with a lot of washes, by the way, but actually just to be able to bring out the vibrancy of that is so cool. Captain Andrew, welcome to the chat. Thanks a lot for saying what's up. Awesome to see you. Eric Johnson, the winner of that model.
Congrats.
Wait, Eric, if you're in the chat, I want to know, are you actually going to play this as a character? Please tell me yes, but I won't hold it against you if you say no.
That's actually the Farseer. Yeah,
it could definitely stand in as a skink star shaman. Or just this is my Mephiston.
Oh, you beat me to it. Another Tigerian.
Definitely Lord of Death.
Speaking of Lords of Death, the next one we have before we cut to a quick break for a video is the Night Lord's Master of Execution, painted by Greg Smalling.
I think this is phenomenal, really well. I just look at the texture on the axe blade, and then also the funny little addition, which is I think that's the sergeant from the Grave Guard kit. Sitting above his backpack. I think that was really well done as well. Plus the candles, I think, really just echoes more and more Night Lordiness.
I like the more muted blue as well.
Yes, me too.
really atmospheric.
Spectacular kit bash there, done, just absolute precision. You can find them on Instagram at Cavern with a K of Curiosities with a C. Cavern of Curiosities. Night Lords, Chad Patrick winning that. Congratulations.
Chad Patrick. Sorry.
They're from North Carolina. Absolutely awesome. Congratulations. Now we're going to take just a small pause. We're going to do a interview segment with TK Shielder. I got an interview there. Everybody hold tight. In just about 3 or 4 minutes,
we'll come back. Speak amongst yourselves for about 2 minutes. That would be appreciated.
We are loading up that video now. That was the cue for. Let's talk about what we've seen so far. Like, cool stuff. I'm already imagining what some of the winners are going to be doing with these models, just like we were doing. Like, I completely agree with the fact, like, you got to get some of these on the table no matter what, even if it is for your home games or your kill team or whatever. I can also see writing in, hey, tournament organizer, I have a great Chihuahua mage. I would really like to be as my warlock.
I would be okay with it. I'm okay with it. You can bring all sorts of like weird proxies to me. As long as they're painted as beautifully as the things that we've seen so far, I have no problems with it.
That is like, I don't know, like I need to see some pictures. Okay, well I guess that's in. One of the neatest things we of course we're talking about travel, and a lot of us are tournament players or at least play an organized play, but some of these models transcend that. And also sometimes the art needs to transcend whatever your mission is and get it there.
I think
of course we're talking about the models.
As miniature painting in general expands, you're going to have, I hope that we see lots more left field things like our Chihuahua friend, because expanding the subjects and the diversity of what you see is just going to bring more and more people in. And while most of us know miniatures as playing pieces in a game, they can expand well beyond that. And that's where a lot of the crazy and cute and adorable things start coming in. There's a bunch of different companies which are making really cool models, and a lot of them have games, a lot of them don't, and it's starting to go beyond historical sci-fi or fantasy war games, which is really, really exciting.
Incredibly well said. Let's go to this video. Yeah, we'll see y'all in just a couple of minutes, everybody.
I'm here today with TK, but I know you as Voodoo. We've had a little bit of get to know each other on social media over the past year or so. How did you come to find the Nova Open Charitable Foundation?
I honestly think the first time that I saw it was when I saw Dan Osborne's Titan that he did for it last year. I thought it was like, oh, this is really cool. I thought this was really neat. And then I found the Nova Open Charity Foundation's Instagram and started scrolling through, and I was like, wait a minute, this would be a really cool opportunity to like do something that I really, really enjoy, and also potentially give back to like organizations that also help support the military community that I'm also in, because most of my donations go to the Fisher House. So there I saw it and sent in a couple of original pictures or photos of some of the stuff that I did getting back into the hobby, and they immediately picked me up and were like, hey, yeah, this sounds great. Like, what can you do? And that was when last year I entered Ronin, one of the converted Storm Surges, and now I'm hoping to enter as often as they'll let me come back. For Shogun, though, Shogun is part of a series called the Sphere Takers, which each of them does very much have individual lore behind them. Each of the Sphere Takers is the idea of like a Tau sphere of expansion kind of thing, idea that's accustomed to a specific fighting style for a particular environment, which is why all the Sphere Takers have, like, one is a desert, Shogun is like a jungle warrior kind of theme, one of them is like an Arctic theme, and the idea is to just kind of keep pushing and pushing and go from there. I think right now I have I think seven. Sorry, 7 that I've completed, and there's just more and more that I'm going to be working on as time goes on, because I absolutely love the idea of taking these Tau and making those unique conversions for each environment or fighting style or what have you.
So I'm really interested because I don't really do conversions. I'm really bad at them. I have tried. It was not successful. But I'm really interested to know what your process looks like when you're starting a project like this. Like, do you start with pen and paper? Do you get in like some sort of design program? Like, how does the process look?
So for me, for most of them, for the really heavy ones, when I have the time, like a diorama that I'm working on, or like planning right now, like I'll write out a full page of notes. Like Ronin had, probably 2 or 3 pages of notes and ideas with different symbols and things like that. The one that I had for Shogun, unfortunately, ended up getting lost, but I kind of get like a general gist, a theme, an idea in my mind. And then for posing, I have one of the little like art statue things that I just stuck up, so you can pose them and you can, kind of go from there. And then from there on, I just kind of try to, I guess, feel the vibe and like let the miniature itself like kind of put itself to life and come to life however it is. So if I try not to be too stuck to an idea and just let it sort of flow from there. So,
and before I close it out, just maybe remind people where they can find you if they want to see more of your work.
Yeah, for sure. So you can find me on Instagram, Voodoo6 Studios. Believe it's all just Voodoo and then 6 and then Studios, and that's it. It's going to be a whole bunch of Tau conversions because that's basically all that was put up right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that. And
Giddy
that's
up.
one of the
Let's
models
get
we'll
right
talk about
into
here
it.
in just a second. How spectacular is that Shaso Shogun?
I put
painted by
tickets on
TK.
it.
Well,
I wanted this one.
Tanya, I am regretfully have to tell you that Anthony Colavito won that.
I adore Tau players' persistence in trying to manifest their Melee future. I find it amusing. I find it so optimistic of them. Good for you guys. But the miniature is absolutely astounding. It's
They need to bring in some just big, beefy, butt kicking monster into the sphere, into the Tau Empire to do all of that for them, and then they can give them the. I really like the samurai mecha vibe.
Yes.
I think a lot of people use that kind of drone part. I think. As the head, and it works so well. They look properly walking out of a. I know people say that Tau, the anime faction, but it does look like it's walked out of a really cool earthy manga. Really cool base as well, treading the.
Someone will watch this. Amazing! Congratulations on that. The next one we're going to talk about is the Ukraine Kill Team, painted by James Coling.
So this is is this Howling Griffins? As would be the closest actual chapter to this color scheme, or are they?
Griffin, they're red and yellow quartered.
That's right, red and yellow. Yeah. I think this is a phenomenally gorgeous scheme just by itself.
That's lovely.
In support of some extremely worthy worldwide causes. What I love about this one is if you got this, you essentially have like every character you'd need for your army. You've got the champion. You got a champion in the middle. You got a captain in the Terminator army in the back. You got a Reaver lieutenant to the right. You have possibly a Phobos captain or lieutenant to the left. Like you could just tool this up, or you could just go down the kill team route and just use this to expand into its own kind of special flavor. I think this is a really cool start point.
Might be able to put them into a Deathwatch kill team as well.
Exactly,
and put them into a Deathwatch army.
Yep, spot on. I think it's beautiful.
Gorgeous. Look at all that. That's such a difficult sometimes scheme to line up exactly like they've had, and that's beautiful. Great causes, of course. And congratulations to the winner, Nate Peace.
Congrats.
Yep, from Oklahoma, Tulsa, here in the U.S. Again, I feel like I'm clarifying. Like everyone's like, oh, of course we know where he is. Yeah, but it's like, I'm helping out everybody. Next one, a chaplain, Warhammer 40k, Dark Angels,
Hell yeah.
painted by Danny Clemens.
Insert more .gif.
Sorry, you can find more shots probably of that kill team that we just had from Ghost Hammer on Instagram, Ghost Hammer 686. The one we're talking about here, the chaplain from the Dark Angels, and Instagram of Danny Does DUZ stuff.
I love the black armor with the green on the cloak.
Absolutely, yeah. I think
really differentiates him.
It's a homage to the old Interrogator chappy, one with the power fist.
It looks pretty old. It looks pretty old school. The scheme.
Look at just the detail and the transition between the two different colors. And how you can see, even though there's a couple of dark colors next to dark colors, they have a distinct look on each one of them. That is beautiful. And then of course the base providing all that contrast. Winner of this one is Jason Murray. Congratulations.
That'd be such a cool one to put into either an existing army or build an army around when it's a character model like that who's such a sort of iconic look for them.
For sure.
Yeah, that was gonna get a name. You get them on the table. You got a retinue. Next one we'll talk about it is a Warhammer Underworlds. The Starblood Stalkers.
Yeah, freaking gorgeous.
All the colors. I'm telling you, that just trips me out because it's so hard to do.
Do bright colors well.
But these models suit it in particular. The Seraphon in general have lots of feathers, and lizards can be really brightly colored, so they suit that really crazy, expressive rainbow kind of style, and really brings out that character of them and the historical influences on them.
And the turquoise is, I was going to mention too, the historical influence of that is something well associated with things of the real world that this borrows maybe a little bit of inspiration from, and still just pops off even with the kind of the greenish blues of the skin tones we're seeing here. That's amazing.
Anyone else notice the chameleon, the lime green chameleon in the back changing color to match the logos on towards the bottom, the tail? I thought that was a really nice touch.
Wow.
It's also the model which has the poison arrow frog he keeps his arrows in, which is one of my favorite details on any model they've ever done.
So good.
Everyone loved the chameleon skink when he was first shown.
Another multi-winner here, Aiden Tajana. Congratulations. That just goes to show you somebody wins these things. So you put a couple tickets here, a couple tickets there, and you could leave with multiple raffles. Oh, jumping right into the next set here, the Adeptus Custodes Combat Patrol, played by Neil Zasbo. You can find them on Instagram at _Zab, ZAB.
Well, this is wild, right? Because you go out and you buy this one, and then you win this one, and then just go buy one other combat patrol. Damn, your army's done.
You have.
It's really quite cool.
I think if this is the contents of the Combat Patrol box, when Tents drops, you can just play with this in the Combat Patrol format.
Boarding actions. Sure. Play some boarding actions with some custodes.
Absolutely.
Oh, you could definitely fill out a boarding patrol with these guys. Absolutely.
I would not want to see this coming through a hole in my spaceship.
I wouldn't want to see a hole in my spaceship. I'm just saying.
Straight up.
Of all the things, though, that could come through, truth be told, this, I think, is one of the worst.
The oxygen going out is quite a worry as well. I think in the 41st millennium, spaceships just have holes in them. You have to deal with it.
It's just a fact of life.
I love it. It's like in a lot of novels, it's like how we should end this space battle with a boarding action. It's so Warhammer.
We're going to get in a torpedo and fire ourselves into the opposition ship. And then there's going to be a door in the torpedo, and we walk out and we stab them with our swords. That's how we're gonna destroy this enemy spaceship.
You pop out and go, oh, whoops, wrong ship.
We're on a bit of a tangent, but I want to say that Nick Grant wins this thing. Nick, congratulations.
Yeah, they're beautiful custodians. Well, really classic as well, and the sort of golden armored knight dudes.
Herefordshire, there in the UK. Enjoy. Spectacular. The Forbidden Psalm set here, coming up from Joseph and Cassandra Mueller.
Yeah, these models are fan-freaking-tastic. If you wanted a Cult of the Damned, you want to any old game, you take a new spicy take on your Zombicide game. Do whatever you want. These models are here for it. Really well executed. I love the artwork in the back as well.
Yeah, Forbidden Psalm, I think, is a is it cooperative or soloable? It's a kind of indie skirmish game. Like a really grimy, nasty blood and guts separate. Maybe the Borg related one. Anyway, really sort of death metal. Everything's rotting and decaying. Really, really cool feeling. And this is a paint job which really, really captures that completely. It just looks all decayed and manky and horrible. Really gets the feel across.
Very Silent Hill feel.
Yes.
The faceless drones out the front. Yeah.
You can find them on Instagram at Sleepy Canvas Studios. And I definitely encourage you to check these artists out because look, if you like the fact they were part of the NOCF this year, let them know that you did appreciate that. That way, maybe they want to do it again. You got a shot at getting some of their stuff. It's how the cycle of life works. Absolutely awesome. Here's another cool thing. We got Blizzard Force versus Echo Base Defenders, Star Wars Legion.
Nice.
Hoth. Yeah, baby.
Possibly the best bit of the original trilogy. The best made. Hoth maybe. I always liked the trash compactor scene as a child, but growing up, I can accept that the Hoth is really amazingly done.
Nah, can't go past Ewoks. I'm just saying.
I like Return of the Jedi. I like Ewoks because they're cannibal headhunters, and that makes them awesome.
Pretty vicious. Yeah, they were gonna eat our heroes.
They were gonna eat.
And we've been delicious.
Were there AT-ATs on Hoth, or was that Endor?
AT-ATs were on Hoth. Yep, the first time you saw it.
Not the ATST, but just because they weren't on screen, they definitely had some. Like you wouldn't go there without. They're perfect for it.
And they didn't have any. They didn't have any of their natural predators in large logs strapped to trees.
Yeah, there are no trees, so you're fine.
The natural predators were there, so they were absolutely fine. No wonder they won.
The snow speeders taking them down eventually. I actually, and speaking of Star Wars, I just took my family to see the 40th anniversary of the Return of the Jedi in the theaters. That was amazing. So I could definitely see where the Star Wars nostalgia is high and why someone would want some of these models. Absolutely awesome. Winner of this, Robert Finnemore. Congratulations.
Great Darth. The ATST looks amazing as well. Really nicely weathered centerpiece.
New Jersey. That's where they're from.
These guys are from Hoth.
Yeah.
Yes.
the ice planet.
It's pretty close to Jersey, right? It's not too far.
All right, I'm signing off. See you guys later.
Peace.
We have another interview to show. This one's going to be from Marcus Newman. As soon as we get the thumbs up from production on this one. This is where we're getting into the whole army thing. Ben, one of these coming up after this is going to be special to you, and we talked about it a little bit when we welcomed you to the show. But I think it's going to be cool. I want to hear your thoughts as you prepare to maybe send it to another home. But we have we have a couple more things to talk about before that, including the video from Marcus Newman, who is the painter of the Dark Eldar Drukhari army. You can find them on Instagram at brush_strike.
Yep.
And consistently good work on Instagram. Don't just like the first thing that you see. Scroll down, look at all of the things that this wonderful artist produces.
Click them all. Click all the hearts.
Save it, share it, give them a follow.
There we go. So we're about to jump into that. We will see y'all in just a few minutes, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hi there, I'm here today with Marcus, and Marcus has supplied a beautiful prize for the raffle this year. So hello, Marcus, and why don't we start out with you just sort of introducing yourself to the viewers.
Yeah, hi Tanya. Yeah, I'm from Germany, a little town near Berlin at the east side of Berlin. Yeah, I'm into the hobby since I think 10 years now.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about the prize that you have given to the Nova Open Charitable Foundation to raffle off?
Yes, it's Dark Ella, or I think the new name is Drukari.
Yeah.
And so in the last year, 2022, we've got some YouTube channels also in Germany, and one of the biggest YouTube channels is from Dennis, and he was diagnosed with lung cancer in 2022, and affected me deeply because I was watching his channel. So I've painted the army over many weeks in summer last year till autumn, and so when I finished all the work, I've spoken to Dennis, and he got a new medicine. So he gets better. We talked together, and he asked me to get the proceeds from this army to organization who supports people with cancer. In Germany, we have it's called Deutsche Krebshilfe.
So the proceeds from this raffle are going to go to that German foundation that helps people who are fighting cancer and helps with research. It's a very great foundation. I just want to close it out by letting you tell everybody where they can find you if they want to see more of your work online.
I think, just on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the link is on the website.
Yeah, I love seeing all your photos on Instagram. So everybody should go give you a follow. And thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Yeah, one of those to where
couldn't ask for a better start.
There's with the specifically, I guess the Xenos races that we might describe them they're almost like canvases, just the wide open to what you can put on the table, and well, any army really is, but especially those, because players are like, they're always like, they want to know how'd you come about this, what happened with this, not what are your marine rules, whatever. And this army has been lovingly crafted, you can tell, and somebody's going to take it home.
I love the weathering on the vehicles as well, like the unusual color scheme, but still with on the actual troops, like Drazar, for instance, still definitely Drukari.
You know what draws me to this army more than anything else? The fact that it's painted like Cadians. I'm just like, I'm here for it. All things should be painted like Cadians. It speaks to me.
Cadians?
It works. It works so well.
Do you paint your Dark Angels like Cadians?
Yeah, Dark Angels, Cadians, everything, just in line.
Just dark greens. Okay. You like dark greens.
They do look kind of that treatment makes them look very kind of piratical and raidery. The desert bases as well. It gives them almost a post-apocalyptic kind of feel. Like you can imagine them sort of zooming past your settlement and just carrying everything off.
Love it. The winner of this, Cameron Singh.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely awesome. Cameron is from Washington. taking it home. Now we're going to get to your offering, Ben. Here, this is the Ultramarines army that we talked about at the beginning of the show that you painted as part of your lockdown project. I'm sure it's inspired you and now it has an opportunity to go off and inspire other people. You know, what do you think about this?
So I was really proud that I got a whole army done consistently, and that I mean, I used an airbrush on the blue, that I managed to do a big project with that. I was really chuffed, and an airbrush on the vehicles as well. I hadn't done much vehicles before, so I wanted to really dive into a big project that was a real challenge. And almost because I tend to do my own thing, my own color schemes, and I'm willfully sort of weird in lots of different ways. That's one of the reasons I chose Ultramarines, because they're the poster boys, and I thought I wanted to make them look cool, and kind of and try vehicles for a change, and see if I could get a proper sizable War Games army together. And the fact that I'm able to, I've done that. So their main purpose, I played some games with them, but the main purpose was as a project to do it, to see if I could, to see how it turned out. And so they've sort of served that purpose. And now I'm able to pass them on to someone who could play games with them, display them, use them as a call for their own thing, and mainly support good causes that really do, that I feel quite strongly about. It seems like a perfect use for them. So I've been really grateful and enthusiastic about the chance to do that with these guys.
Well, you've checked off all those boxes, and now we're gonna jump into the spot segment with you, and then we'll come back with us maybe sans Adam Camilleri.
No.
Adam, I know it's getting late in the morning. I know work. It's one of those. Let the show most go on. We certainly appreciate having you here and getting to kind of rib you a little bit about your Dark Angel.
Which one did you want to go to next?
We're gonna see. I think we have a video from Ben himself.
Nope.
No.
Just.
Oh, we don't.
No, that's why I brought him on live.
Oh, well, there we go. Well, no, live is better than video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about the winner of this thing. Yingzhu, you are the winner of this army, Warhammer 40,000 Ultramarines complete army, lovingly crafted by Ben himself from Pennsylvania.
Congratulations! I'm really glad they now belong to the world. I'm really glad that I've been able to release them and do something really good with them. And I hope that you enjoy them and play games with them, or whatever it is that display them. Let them inspire you to do something. They are only toy soldiers, but to me, this project, and especially being able to donate them this way, did mean quite a lot.
Wonderful, mate.
So I'm very happy that we got here.
Well, this is what you talk about. They may be only toy soldiers, but we actually put a lot of ourselves into them. I said, I'm not kidding about that loop of inspiration of, I know that when I'm building models, and I'm sure everyone here has a similar story, when you're building something, you're thinking about what it's going to do, the situation it's in, not only what it's going to perform on the table, but you imagine what is actually performing these heroic deeds or whatever crazy activity in the world itself. How
you
cool
can make
that?
a storytelling or an emotive medium, as I said before, just as you can any other medium, and unlocking that is where things really start getting interesting.
We had a surprise raffle as the next one too. Surprise raffle. Do we have some pictures? Because it's a surprise.
We have a video.
Let's show it.
All right.
Everybody hold tight.
Yeah. May not be here when you get back.
Oh, nice.
This is hands down my son's favorite character of anything, anywhere, anything.
How long till this one's done?
This one.
We're live.
We're live. It's a 30-second video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fair.
Look at this.
That reflective red. Not just the skill of it, but making it look like a sort of comic book cover. That's gorgeous.
We talk about all the causes and stuff that you could. We're talking about the miniatures, but of course the causes are not lost. You can look at the models and find out sometimes that aligns with the cause that you want to support. You can support them that way. Another way to support the charity and all the things that it benefits is, they're having a 10-year celebration. You can actually go to the NOCF website, and hopefully if you found us here, you know where the website is. But we'll try to link it also in the chat here. Is that you can support them in a monthly gift, and that also, if you do the monthly gift, you actually get one of the commemorative coins celebrating 10 years of the NOCF, 10 years of charitable work and contributions. Absolutely awesome. There's, again, multiple ways to participate with this. If you want, sometimes the cause, sometimes it's being part of the train that is the gifting and keeping things moving, supporting the artist. Sometimes it's the models themselves that motivate you. There are no wrong answers. Absolutely amazing that we could all be here talking about this. We did hit the 10K goal this year.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Excellent news.
Huge.
But that's not done without everyone participating, and all those things, all the different ways that you can come and be a part of this. And I know this is, again, we talked about how this is the easy part. We get to come and talk about all the Herculean efforts that have been done by the people that made the miniatures, got them to the site, photographed the miniatures, everybody behind the scenes at the NOCF, and then the people that did buy the raffle tickets for the stuff, either for the stuff or for the causes. Again, we're just here talking about it. Y'all did all the hard work, and I'm humbled to be here and be a part of this.
I'm also humbled to be a part of this, and I want to issue a challenge to the community, because if we did 10,000 in this raffle, I feel like we could easily do 1,500 or 15,000, right? Maybe
for the summer,
right? For the next one.
Yeah, and winner of the Ironman, Sean Reynolds, from Maryland. Yeah, congratulations! How cool is that? Get him on the table, zapping. Say the words "I am Iron Man" consistently over and over again, because you've earned it. I think we are talking about the summer raffles coming up. There's some stuff. I don't know. I mean, a little bit of a teaser. Ben, you want to say something about that?
So, I believe it is traditional for a god machine of the Legio Titanicus to make an appearance during the summer. And because I wanted to be able to contribute, and I don't have a Titan, one of our painters is doing a Titan in particular scheme, and I am writing a story about this particular Titan. So the winner will not only get an awesome Titan, it will be the Titan that did the thing in the story. So it will have its background, it'll have its great deeds, maybe something a bit dark lurking in the background because it's the 41st millennium and everything is awful. So I'm currently beaving away on that, working with the artist to bounce ideas around. It's been a really fun process, working out where our Titan's going to go, what it's going to look like, all the crazy things that the painter's going to do with him.
I can imagine that the story is going to influence, because those armor plates on the Titans are just. Yeah. I mean, we talk about a miniature being canvases and that kind of stuff, but it's hard to even call it a miniature. And then the canvas is like double and triple the size of normal.
You can look at it. You can look at it as a series of, almost like an old-fashioned altarpiece, where it's a series of places to put paintings. If you want to go the full, or you can look at it like a coat of arms, where they're all with the heraldry and things like that. So we've been bouncing ideas around about what it's going to look like. We've come up with a really solid plan that feeds into both the story and the Titan. So I really like being able to contribute that way as well.
I'm glad you're highlighting there are multiple ways to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Not always about the talent of painting the miniatures. Even some of the big army showcases that get built and given away, because through the course of the raffle, are sometimes contributed by many hands. There's lots of ways to get involved with the NOCF, and so if you are curious about how to do that, definitely hit them up on the website. And with that, we're about to close our broadcast down, at least our part of it. I believe we have another couple of videos to run that are going to wrap up the broadcast. But everyone who has watched, thank you. I'm going to say thanks again to everyone behind the scenes. This does not happen without the artists contributing, without the people, building the models, contributing the models, and especially doesn't happen without the folks coming and giving to the charitable organization through the form of the raffle tickets. And this stream doesn't happen without Tanya and Diffie we're doing a lot of work. So, like, thank you all very much.
And thanks for Ben for joining us for what has been much longer than I think he anticipated. Late in his evening.
Few things will give me more of a simple pleasure in talking about toy soldiers for a while. I will, as you've experienced, I will wax lyrical about that. So I'm very glad for this opportunity.
That is the absolute amazing. So hang out. There may be a little surprise here at the very end. We may pop back in, but thanks a lot for hanging out with this. But just like all the cool movies and summer blockbuster things, and hold tight. Maybe there might be something after. Ben, thank you very much for coming on again. I know hearing your insights and talking about the Army, and then what you do. We're fans, complete fans of the stuff that you've done. We were talking a little bit about that in the pre-show. It's been a pleasure hanging out and chatting with you.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll see everybody real soon. Maybe hold tight. Watch to the end. Hey everybody, welcome to another spotlight here from the Nova Open Charitable Foundation, NOCF. Gary Krieger, pleasure to sit down and talk with you. You've got a lot of the behind the scenes stuff going on. I want to hear about what's happening, all the amazing entries, and what people should be setting their sights on when they're coming and checking out the website. You take pictures of them and stuff. People can probably see in the background. You've got your photo booth and some of the entries there. What can people spy over your shoulder?
That is some of the Ultramarines. I've got them on a small turntable behind me, and then I've got a large turntable a little bit that way that has a whole tray full of the Ultramarine Army from Ben Counter.
It's so cool to be surrounded by just basically precious art.
Yeah.
Is kind of cool.
I'm kind of in a unique spot where I literally get to see every entry. And so that puts me in kind of a, I'm envious in many ways because there's nothing that I get that stays with me. Everything goes out. But there's some amazing work. And we have submissions from everywhere from Germany to Poland, the UK. We often get stuff I have stuff here from France, obviously the United States, Canada. It just comes from all over. And we ship out to just as many places. It's crazy. We've now been doing this for 10 years, believe it or not. It's the 10th year anniversary of the foundation.
That's impressive, and I know the number of dollars that are going out to these great causes is going up and up every year.
Yeah, I think that towards the beginning of the year we were at over $620,000 to charity. Interestingly enough, too, we've been expanding upon those on those avenues as well. We now have a children's museum where kids, especially if the artist or someone, can submit their work, and their work gets posted on the site, and there's a donation page, a donation box there. So there's a way for kids of all ages to submit work as well, whether it's miniatures, drawings, that kind of thing. And that spawned out of last year, a request last year from an artist who had a son that wanted to submit something for the raffle. So it's also showing the next generation that your art it's not only good to share, but it has value, and it can do good.
That's awesome. So if people have not come across the site before, where's the best place for them to go to see some of these entries, and if they are compelled to contribute in some way, where can they do that?
That is at novaopenfoundation.org, and everything is right there. You can get right to all the different avenues of things that we're doing, which includes we're doing some. We also have Ben Counter donated some books, some digital books. So we'll have some digital books in there that are, and some additional ones coming. We have a promotion going on for our 10th anniversary, our where we're basically giving a coin out for. We've got a donor box
nice.
now.
People love those. No, look, and we mentioned all the effort that goes into this. It is almost like a full-time thing. It never stops. Like as soon as one's over, another one starts because of the process involved with that kind of tactile nature of of what we do here. But I really do encourage people to go check it out if they haven't already. There's something new each and every time, and you're going to find some miniatures or offerings that blow you away, and that you probably wouldn't mind owning yourself with just whatever the contribution is to those good causes. Gary, it's always a pleasure to speak with you. I'm going to be speaking with other folks behind the scenes and also other contributors and stuff. And then we'll see y'all again for the wrap-up show at the end of this offering. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you, Paul.
Have a great rest of your afternoon. We'll see you.
Thanks.
And we're back.
And we have one more teaser vid for you. This is one of those to where it's like we're setting up things that are to come and you don't want to miss it. This is, we talked about the summer raffles that are coming. We talked about some Titans. And we're going to talk about like a Titan mashup. What am I rattling on about?
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of like the red paper clip before. It's like a thing where a guy had a red paper clip and he kept trading up and trading up and trading up until he got to like a house or something like that. And as far as I know, that's something that has to do with this Titan. From what I gather, Squidmar from the famous YouTube channel started off with a tiny little goblin, just a teeny tiny goblin, and ended up with a Titan. But I mean, like, what do you do when you have a Titan and then you paint it? Oh, you donate it to charity, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
That's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
especially when you spent like 10 cents on a goblin to get it.
That's the thing. What you save, you invest the time back into it. You get something spectacular. You do something spectacular with it. We do have one more video to show you, but that's going to end our stream. This is going to be the last time you see us for this one. This is the real sign off this time. Thanks for everybody that hung out here to the end or skipped to the end and watched it. Absolutely amazing. Again, thanks to everybody who said thanks a bunch, but I mean it sincerely from the heart. It's been a pleasure. I love coming here and doing this and being able to talk about this, the amazing work the NOCF is doing, and the amazing artists and everyone's contributed their time, and then y'all who have contributed your dollars to these causes and the raffles. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's night. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Sold today. The $2,000 Warlord Titan. The Titans are so stupidly big that the head alone will net you $124. And for a project this big, where we spend hundreds, nay, thousands of hours building the most insane Warlord Titan diorama ever built, a regular head will not do. But to make the world's most unique and legendary Warlord Titan head the world has ever seen, we're gonna need some help, because God forbid I do it myself. Although, I'm not sure anyone is up for that task. Except maybe one.
Hello, Squidmar.
Mezgaik.
Mate, I'm not joining your team.
I'm putting together a team.
You son of a bitch. I'm in.
Soon after.
Right, so Squiddo sent me this 3D scan of a Titan head, but have a look at it. It's a little bit blurry, so we're going to redo it. We're going to smooth every edge. We're going to make it nice and sharp. We're going to make it an exact replica. And once we have our exact replica, let's go ahead and rip it in half and sculpt a bloody demon head popping out the side of it. What we also want is some human skulls in his mouth. Now that's going to tell us a little bit more about the scale of this thing. I really love pipes, so I'm going to make heaps of them, and they're going to be snaking all through the skin, representing veins. these human skulls that we just copy pasted, let's make them interesting. Missing teeth, bumps, scratches and that. Now the Squiddies wanted this demon head to look like the fleshy parts had bursted out of the armoured parts. Make the armour look like it's being pushed out. And then it's back to you, Squidmeister. Have fun painting.
Seriously, how cool is this? It did such an amazing job making it really feel like this nurgly demon is just pushing his skin out of the shell of the Titan. I love it, seriously, it's so good. I definitely get more nurgly vibes than any of the other Chaos Gods, so I think I'm gonna go with sort of like a green going to like reddish skin on him, and then block out some colors, and we'll take it from there. So I have airbrushed a base on this, so I have something to work from for the brush work. But before I start highlighting and shading and doing all of that jazz, I'm just gonna block off the rest of the colors. Airbrushing and contrast paints saves so much time on bigger pieces like this. It gives me a perfect base with both getting like the color tones and the volumetric highlighting. So now I'm gonna start blocking up the rest of the colors. Lucas is working on the main body of the Traitor Titans, and it's got this really cool color scheme to it. I'm gonna stick to that, paint some golds and blacks. Okay, it's starting to look like something at least. I'm gonna start highlighting the skin a little bit and maybe paint some of the boils on top of his head because those look pretty freaking cool and I'm kind of most excited about painting those. And if I find some time, paint some horns, but let's start with the boils and skin and do the rest tomorrow. If you want to become a really good painter, you need to dress well. And the easiest way of doing that, this week's sponsor, Into the AM. They make some of the best looking graphic t-shirts on the internet, and the quality of the fabric and fit is just amazing. Right now you get 3 shirts for $60. All you gotta do is following the link down below and you'll get an additional 10% off for being a Squidmart viewer. The range of prints is just amazing, so get yourself some shirts and tees by following the link in the video description.
Tell you my problems, I can tell you my sins. I can tell you my problems. I'm uncomfortable in my skin. I'm uncomfortable with my ends. I'm uncomfortable with my friends. I'm uncomfortable with my drinking. I'm uncomfortable with my thinking. I'm uncomfortable with my ways. I'm uncomfortable in this space. I'm uncomfortable on good days. I'm uncomfortable on bad days. I'm uncomfortable with my soul. I'm uncomfortable with my heart. I'm uncomfortable with myself. I'm uncomfortable with my heart. I'm uncomfortable with my thoughts. I'm uncomfortable with my feelings. And sadly, I'm uncomfortable with healing. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
So we got some of the tubes, some of the teeth and horns painted. I feel like we're definitely getting closer, which is nice because this project is taking us ages and we kind of want to move to making the big resin pour and all of that stuff. One of the things that can really make or break a miniature is the eyes. And with this one, I want to go kind of nuts because it's got 4 big ones. It's gonna look a bit crazy, but hopefully I can nail it. This is Tamiya X22 Clear. It's some form of like alcohol-based varnish, and it's one of my all-time favorites. So I'm gonna add a coat of this to all of the boils on the top of his head and to the eyes, and hopefully that's gonna look like my eyes. Like it's got a bit of gloss to it, a hint of, you know, nice things going on. Lucas, it is your turn to take over. You're gonna paint some golds, weather it.
Yes.
Highlight the metallics.
Yeah, I think if you guys subscribe and wait for next week's video, you will see an in-depth video about that.
Yeah, when you paint the entire body. It's gonna be amazing. So one final thing, I feel like these teeth need some gurgly saliva and stuff dripping from his teeth. Some transparent slime, cause demons and slime, that's cool stuff. Okay, we're done. I think we did a good job.
And a huge, huge, huge thanks to the awesome mess guy who helped sculpt this entire head.
That was fucking good.
Yeah.
I love it. And if you guys didn't know, he actually has his own YouTube channel and brand. So you can check out his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of painting tutorials and he makes some awesome minis. So check him out. But now, it's time for a medium reveal. Thanks to all of the awesome patrons!
And the subscribe and like button.
Yeah, but patrons, thank you so much for sponsoring this video.